Hey folks, David Stewart here. Time for a little bit of publishing news. Talk about the Romance Writers of America, which are imploding a little bit to my surprise. Now, I did make a prior video on this, but I'll go ahead and backfill that. A couple weeks ago, there were some severe reprimands from the Romance Writers of America against this woman right here, Courtney Milan, who went out of her way on Twitter to basically form a harassment mob against another romance author over a novel that came out 20 years ago being somehow racist, taking place, I guess, in the Scottish Highlands. That's such a common romance trope at this point. If you're going to write a romance novel, why not put it in the Scottish Highlands? I guess Highlanders are sexy. So originally I was like, yes, Romance Writers of America, they're not crazy yet. They haven't been infected by the corporate cancer. They have turned the code of ethics that this person, Courtney Milan, created around on her when she actually violated them by harassing another author online and interfering with that author's ability to get a publishing deal, according to that author. And so she got punished. Turns out things have cascaded in completely the opposite direction, and so many people have protested the group's punishment of Courtney Milan that they pulled out of the awards ceremony. So there will be no Rita Awards in 2020. They had to cancel the awards. This begs an interesting question, which is, I should say asks an interesting question, which is, what's the point of a professional organization if you're not going to protect your members against harassment, if you're not going to help them negotiate better rates for their writing, which most of these don't do now, and you're not even going to give out awards? I'm not sure what the point of these actually are. And if you look at this article, and I'll link it in the description, you can see a lot of the corporate cancer stuff is actually showing up here. Stuff that I thought had been resisted by the Romance Writers of America, it just went completely the other way. Complaints that, not enough people of some certain skin color have won the Romance Writers Award. Now keep in mind, the vast majority of the market for women's, or I should say for romance, are women, and they tend to be middle-aged women, and they're overwhelmingly white. So it would make sense that a lot of the writers are going to follow that demographic to some extent. So they had very few, for a long time, very few people of color winning the awards. That, to me, doesn't sound too out of place considering the demographics involved. It'd be like if you have hip-hop awards, you're not going to be expecting a lot of white guys to win that award. That's just the way things are, and it doesn't mean that whatever hip-hop organization that gives out hip-hop awards is racist against the white people. It just has to do with the demographics of the audience as well as the people who are making the music. So I'll link this down below, and you can take a look at this. It's definitely very interesting because you end up having major leadership resign. You have a big switchover. So the corporate cancer went from resisted in stage 0 to just full on death spiral mode. It's the most bizarre turnaround I've ever seen in a professional organization, and it's of interest for those of you that are in publishing, because I know some of you are in the writing and publishing business, and you may be wanting to write romance novels or something like that. I don't personally write those, but it's really interesting. This kind of stuff has already happened and been happening in Science Fiction Writers of America and other professional organizations surrounding writers. So it's kind of a little bit disappointing to see this happen in the romance sector, which everybody thought was very, very focused on the core mission of selling a product to the audience that actually wants to buy it. But we can see that any organization can be co-opted and actually destroyed from within using the ideology of people that are really not interested in the core mission of selling books, but are more interested in other external political things like diversity, representation, and things like that. So thanks so much. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time. By the way, you can find some more information on this on my blog at dbspress.com. I usually have a couple articles up every week, maybe one a day. Take it easy.